Hey everyone, it's Richard the Worldwide Home Chef, hope you're well. It's Easter at the moment, so happy Easter everyone. And today we're going to be preparing some delicious roast lamb. We went to Snowdonia yesterday to soak in some of the stunning countryside. It was a beautiful day and we bought this really nice organic meat. This is about 700 grams of boned rolled lamb shoulder. So any butchers will be able to do this for you. If you do it like this, it's really delicious. The ingredients we've got to marinate it with, season it with, are rosemary, thyme, sage and some garlic. So I've put about a teaspoon of chopped fresh rosemary. Not too much rosemary because it's a beautiful fragrant herb, but it can be a little bit overbearing if you use too much. I've got about 2 teaspoons of chopped fresh thyme, another really nice herb, and about 3 teaspoons of chopped fresh sage, 3 cloves of garlic chopped. So the first thing we're going to do is just make some indents on the lamb in which to push the garlic into. So just going to get the garlic, have to use all your muscles here and push that in. And really try and insert that into the lamb, because the lamb we're going to marinate this overnight anyway, and the lamb really absorbs all that flavour. Don't be scared of making a sizable insertion. We're roasting this, so it's not going to fall apart or anything. It'll be absolutely fine. There we go. I'll try and do it on both sides, just so we've got garlic at each end of the lamb. And then we'll get all these herbs, really rub them into the lamb. I'm not going to waste any of these herbs either. Going to get some olive oil. Not too much, just about a teaspoon, but it allows the herbs to stick to the lamb and make sure that the lamb isn't too dry. And just spend a couple of minutes really rubbing those herbs in. And you can smell those herbs. Now it's only 2 of us eating, so especially if one of those being female, it's probably a bit much for 2. I'm just going to slice the lamb in 2, and we're going to cook the lamb tomorrow, half of the lamb, and we're going to freeze the other half of the lamb for use at some later date. You can keep frozen lamb for up to about a month and it'll be absolutely fine. And in fact, especially if you've seasoned it beforehand, it should be even better, because even while it's frozen, it'll be soaking up the flavours of those herbs and the beautiful garlic, and it'll be really, really good. So, happy Easter everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hey guys, welcome back to Worldwide Home Chef. Hope you're still having a good Easter. So today we're going to be finishing off our roast lamb, which we started preparing yesterday. So this has been in the fridge overnight, and I've put it in a bowl with some water at the bottom, so that when we roast it, it also steams gently as well as roast. And I've put the fat side up as well, so that will allow all the juice from the fat to baste it as it roasts and as it cooks. So with the roast lamb, we're going to be doing some roast potatoes. Now I've parboiled these, so what I did is chopped about 3 potatoes and put cold water just about covering the potatoes in a pan, heated it up and simmered it for about 7 minutes. Now you know when these are parboiled because when you put them in the colander and you shake it up, it should have this really fluffy texture when you shake it. We're also going to be doing it with some roast parsnips, some roast carrots, which we're going to do together, and some roast asparagus, and it's going to be absolutely delicious. And with the carrots and the parsnips, we're going to be creating a covering with mustard, honey and olive oil. Now, when you're doing the roast dinner, the number one challenge that you're going to have is being able to get the timing right. So I'm going to try and run you through that. Now, once your potatoes have cooled down after you've parboiled them, they take about an hour in the oven. And with the lamb, as a general rule, you want to give it about 25 minutes plus another 25 minutes for every 450 grams. So with this is about 350 grams, so 25 minutes plus about another 20 minutes. We're going to put this in for about 45 minutes. The carrots and parsnips are going to go in for about 45 minutes as well, and these lovely asparagus are just going to go in on top of the carrots and parsnips for the last 15 minutes. Now what I've been doing is I've heated an oven up to 200 degrees, about gas mark 6, and I've heated that up for 10 minutes. Then I've put a pan in the oven with 100 grams of goose fat, and I've let that heat up for about 15 minutes. So we're going to put the potatoes in the goose fat. Have to be careful when we're doing this because it's going to be really hot. So this goose fat has been heating up for about 15 minutes now. And when you put those potatoes in, you can hear them really sizzle. And try and place them away from you, because this oil can be really dangerous and you don't want to get burnt. So I don't know if you can hear that on the camera, but those are sizzling away at the moment, which is just how you want it. And also, before we put them back in the oven, want to give them a really good covering of salt. Also, I don't know if I mentioned, but when we actually parboil the potatoes in water, you want to put a lot of salt in the water, because that allows the potatoes, when you put them in the oven, to really crisp up. So don't forget, when you're parboiling the potatoes, just put a lot of salt in the water. That's very important. So we're going to put this in the oven now. And they're going to go in the oven for an hour. Now when I put the lamb in, although the lamb is going in for 45 minutes, I'm actually going to put that in with 55 minutes remaining, because when you put meat to roast, you really want to let it rest for about 10 minutes, just to let all the juices come out and it's just a lot tenderer after it's been resting for about 10 minutes. So now we're going to make a paste for the carrots and parsnips. So what I've got is some olive oil, some clear honey, some whole grain mustard. To complement the lamb, I've got about 1 teaspoon of rosemary, 2 teaspoons of chopped fresh sage, and 2 teaspoons of thyme. So we're going to chuck them in the bowl. And you want 1 tablespoon of mustard, 2 tablespoons of honey, and 2 tablespoons of good quality olive oil. Okay, we're running out, so we're going to use some more. And just use a spoon to really mix that all together. And I've got a baking tray over here, which I'm going to put these carrots and parsnips into. So I'm just going to pop them in the baking tray. So it's 2 carrots I've chopped lengthways, 3 carrots I've chopped lengthways, 2 parsnips I've chopped in quarters lengthways, and then I'm just going to drizzle this mixture over the top of them. So you're going to have to get a bit messy here, mix that in with your hands. And with all the herbs, the mustard, the honey, it's got a beautiful aroma to it. It smells really nice. And the addition of the honey is great because it really sweetens them up and it allows them to caramelise while they're in the oven. So those will need to go in with about 45 minutes left. Now, all you want to do with the asparagus, which we've washed, is put about a tablespoon of oil over them. And really season them with a good amount of salt and a good amount of black pepper. You know, asparagus is a wonderful vegetable. You don't need to do too much to it, but this will just really bring out the flavour of the asparagus. So now I'll put some salt, a good generous amount of black pepper. Don't be shy with the amount of pepper. It's going to go really well. So I'm going to put these in for 45 minutes with about 15 minutes remaining. All I'm going to do is put the asparagus over the top. So there's 55 minutes remaining at the moment. I'm going to put this lamb in now in the middle of the oven, and I'm going to take that out with 10 minutes remaining. Everything's ready. All you've got to do is put things in the oven at the right time. So we'll be back with you in a sec and you'll be able to see the finished product. Okay, so 45 minutes to go. Just going to put our lovely carrots and parsnips in the oven for 45 minutes. Going to turn these about halfway through. Also with the potatoes, they're going to be in the oven for 60 minutes, 1 hour, so I'm going to turn those every 20 minutes. and again we'll put the asparagus in with 15 minutes to go. So we've got about 15 minutes to go. We're going to put in the asparagus. Ouch! There we go. So have a look at those parsnips and carrots, nearly done. And we're just going to place our asparagus just over the top of them. And put this in for the last 15 minutes. Okay, so 10 minutes to go. I'm just going to take the lamb out, let it rest for the last 10 minutes. So that should be really nicely done now. Be careful when doing this, of course. There we go, that looks really nice. And after that's rested for about 10 minutes, become really nice and juicy, and it'll be absolutely delicious. Okay, here we are. So we have a delicious roast dinner, roast lamb. You can see it's ever so slightly rare, but it's really delicious. Of course, traditionally this should be done with gravy, but we just both personally like it dry, so we don't have it with gravy. The water that you've put at the bottom of the pan makes a really nice gravy, so if you want to put that over the top you can. You've got these delicious crusty roast potatoes, carrots, parsnips and asparagus. So thanks so much for staying with me. Hope you've enjoyed. We're certainly going to enjoy, and we'll see you soon.